Well, the Miami Dolphins have a 12% chance to make a wild card spot in the playoffs. They have less than a 1% chance to host a wild card game, and even less of a 1% chance to get a bye in the first round of the playoffs. So you're saying there's still a chance? How you doing, Dolphins fans and other fans who might be visiting my channel? Thanks for stopping by to check out the video. And the title of the video is the Dolphins season over? Well, uh, we'll get into that in just a second, but I want to talk about that stat that I just gave for the intro. So we are at a 12% chance, and this is according to the New York Times. So all these other sites and everything else are going to have slightly different numbers according to their playoff calculations, but you figure anywhere from 7 to 12% chance of making the playoffs is what most people are giving the Miami Dolphins, and I can't argue with that. I mean, we're bad. Am I encouraged by the last couple weeks of with our offense? Yes, I am encouraged. And before we get into this whole thing, I I wanted to say, there's right now, especially for the Dolphins, there's plenty of fans who are upset, and I'm one of them. I mean, I'm upset too. I really am. I mean, I might not show the outward frustration and anger that a lot of fans are showing, and that's a personal choice of mine to not be that way, especially figuring since I'm doing this on YouTube and I'm putting these videos out of myself. I want to represent myself as good as possible, and I think it's a good thing for me because it helps me to control myself and keep my emotions in check. And with that being said, this has been a rough season for Dolphins fans and some team fans, of different teams. They can identify and they understand, and even some teams that are doing really well this year, like Bills fans. I like I said, the Bills fans that visit my channel and comment and talk and interact with me. Like I said, I have nothing but respect for you guys, and I don't. I am a hardcore Dolphins fan, and with that said, I mean, do I want the Bills to lose? Most of these games that they end up playing, and do I want the Jets to lose? Do I want the Patriots to lose? Well, yeah. I mean, I do. I'm a fan. And just like I expect you Bills fans and you Patriots and Jets fans to want us to lose games, and I understand that, but I also know that there's a way to be a fan and respect other people at the same time, and that's why I act the way I do, and I am the way I am, is because there's just no need for that. Ultimately, we're all football fans and we have favorite teams. That's it. It's football. It's not life. Um, there's so many other aspects to our lives, and we need to remember that when we're interacting with other people. There's a lot of things that we can all agree on, especially as Dolphins, Bills, Jets, Patriots fans, other fans of other teams in their respective divisions. We can be better stewards for the game, and I think by doing that, the best way to do that is by being respectful and understanding, and not hoping for bad things to happen to other teams, and being outwardly egregiously rude and obnoxious. There's no need for the obnoxiousness. And I'm not saying that just about Bills fans or Jets or Patriots fans. I'm saying that about other Dolphins fans too. And if anybody follows my YouTube page, um, you should know I also have a Twitter account under the same name, Frozen Fins Fan. Go give me a follow over there, and you're going to see that I spend every opportunity I can fighting this attitude that you see from a lot of people, especially on the more toxic side of the Dolphins fan community. And with the losing season, the way things are going right now, it's even harder, and there's a lot more ridiculously obnoxious people screaming and yelling and doing nothing but complaining about the team like it's something that they have an opinion, like they have an ability to correct. And I kind of feel like we just need to remember that we're fans. That's it. Should the NFL teams care about their fans and respect their feelings on things? Absolutely, I think they should. But we need to understand that we're all fans, and there's no need to chastise people and be extremely rude and disrespectful to players, especially acting like they don't care or suck balls, as I've seen people say about certain players on our team. And let's be real. First of all, most of us fans couldn't even play a game of football. And those of us that can understand undoubtedly that those players that some people say suck balls, they're in the NFL. And they're not there because they suck balls. So just chill out with all of that. Everybody just relax. There's a better way to handle your fandom. And I don't know, maybe part of that is that I'm an Alaskan. I mean, I've been in Fairbanks in North Pole, Alaska since 1993. It's a long time. And before that, I lived in Phoenix, Arizona. I mean, and you can't really tell. Let me see if I can do this real quick. If you look over just out of camera view, you'll see a Phoenix Coyotes pennant up top, and the Phoenix Coyotes don't even exist anymore. Arizona Diamondbacks jersey, Diamondbacks hats, and a Phoenix Suns jersey way over there that you can't really see. But it's there. There's a Phoenix Suns jersey. The point is I grew up in places where I didn't really have to be a fan. I didn't have to be a fan of the Dolphins. I chose the Dolphins. And maybe that makes it easier for me knowing that I'm the one that chose this. I chose the orange and the teal. I chose to be a Dolphins fan at a very young age. And I never went back on it. I grew up going to Arizona Cardinals games in Sun Devil Stadium before they even had Glendale Community Stadium. I was going to those games, and I was still a Dolphins fan. I guess the point is I chose my fans not because of location, my teams not because of location. I chose them because I liked them. Now the Diamondbacks. I mean, I was actually a Texas Rangers fan for baseball before we got a baseball team in Arizona. And as soon as we got a baseball team in Arizona, and I was like, oh, I can go to baseball games? Oh my goodness, and my mind was blown. I love baseball just about as much as football. And I remember getting to go to those first few games as a Diamondbacks fan at a Diamondbacks game, their inaugural season in 2000, I think it was. What an amazing stadium that was. Oh, it was 1998. I got to go back and go to those, and it was amazing. So I mean, the point is we can be fans. We can be passionate about our team, and we can be respectful at the same time. Like, I have issues with the Dolphins right now with the way things are going. I have certain problems. I have certain things that I think should be better. I have complaints. But you're never going to see me on this channel being outwardly disrespectful, rude, hateful, yelling and screaming. It's just not my style. So if that's more your style and you want to see that, there's plenty of other YouTubers that you can go watch. And I do feel that the YouTube community is a great place to get your information for sports teams especially, and get opinions and pulse of the fan base. That's true. So I'm not telling you not to go check out those other guys. Please do. I mean, I follow some of those guys, some of the yellers, some of the complainers. I do. And I follow guys that are a little more balanced. Dudley Do Wrong, Ace Per Head. I follow those guys because I find they present information in a balanced way. I dig their presentation. I like their attitudes. I like it the way they talk. Other people I follow for kind of the opposite reason, just because I want to see what the more aggressively angry and yelling and, more in your face type of fan base is thinking as well. Like, TD Finn's talk and Barry Cunningham and some of those other guys with some of their more interesting takes. We'll say that. No offense intended. But like I said, I spend some of my time during the day commenting on those people's posts and saying, hey, this isn't even true what you're saying right now. Are you just doing this for clicks, or what's the deal? So while I am very honest about this, and I have no problem criticizing my team for things that are done wrong or things that aren't right, you're not going to find me getting bent out of shape about it to the point where I'm screaming, yelling, insulting other people, and blah 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 blah. I'm just so. Let's move on. Let's get into this a little bit. Is the Dolphins season over? It depends. There's two answers to that. Number one, no, it's not over. In the literal sense, no, there's 9 more games to play for the Dolphins. In the metaphysical sense, no, it's not really over because there's still a chance that they could turn this around. Is the chance very small? Absolutely. It's so small. And if I was a betting man, I'd say we're not going to win 8 of the next 9 games. Now, well, I'm going to put up a picture of the remaining schedule here, and we're going to walk through it and look at it here in a second. But I just want to say, in order to make the playoffs, we have to win at the minimum 8 of our next 9 games. And that won't even guarantee a playoff spot, fellas and ladies and gentlemen. That'll only mean that we have a chance, a good chance at finishing at 10 and 7, I think is what it is. Yeah, 10 and 7. If we finish 10 and 7, we got a decent chance of making the playoffs, but there's no way to tell if that's going to be enough wins to make it. I will say if we somehow, and this is the optimist in me, I'm just pointing out the options here and the things that could happen. It doesn't mean I'm saying we're going to win our next 9 games, but if we won out, which means won all of our last games, all 9 of them, that would put us at 11 and 6, and undoubtedly 11 and 6 would get us in a playoff spot. I'm thinking maybe the 7, possibly the 6 seed. 10 and 6, or I'm sorry, 10 and 7 could do it, but it's not a guarantee. I'd say 11 and 6 would pretty much guarantee a playoff spot, but who knows? Well, we need to win at least 8 of the next 9 games. That doesn't leave much room for error. There's no wiggle room in that schedule. And we do have some tough games coming up. I will say this. There is no game on our schedule. Now, mark my words here. There is no game on our schedule, our remaining schedule, that's going to be as difficult as the Buffalo Bills. Flowers to the Buffalo Bills. Flowers to Mr. Bass and his 61-yard field goal. You guys won that game. So, and I'll say that the Bills are a very, very good team. All around, very well-rounded team. Great defense, great offense, great quarterback. I mean, and we played them to the finish. And I'm telling you right now, that it was the hardest game on our schedule. What we have left is somewhat favorable. So what I do want to do is I want to go through it. Okay? And we'll look at the schedule together. We'll go over the games and we'll talk about it. And you guys can make your own decision on what chances you think we have to make the playoffs or not. I don't think we're going to win 8 or 9 of our last 9 games. I just don't see that happening. But once again, I am an optimist and I root for my team every week. And as I said before, I will pick the Dolphins to win every single game in my Pick'ems League. And I'm going to treat it like that. I'm going to treat it like we're going to win every game. If we play every game at the level of the Bills game that we played or better, which means if we improve on some of those small things that happened in the Bills game that I talked about in the last video, we could win all 9 games. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. But what kind of fan would I be if I wasn't positive about this and rooting for my team and trying to get you guys excited about it too as Dolphins fans? Ideally for me, I think it would be awesome if we could somehow squeak into the playoffs as a 7 seed and wind up playing the Buffalo Bills. I think that would be incredible. I would love to play the Bills in the playoffs again. I feel like we need to beat the best in the game, in the win it or get out situation. I think it needs to happen. I want, not necessarily I want to beat the brakes off the Bills, or I think that's going to happen in the playoffs, but as a Dolphins fan, don't we want to beat the team that always beats us? Don't we want that to happen? Because I do. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment. What are you going to do? All right, so let me scooch over here out of the way. Oh, wrong way. Stupid camera. Okay, I'm scooched over. I'm going to make this little thing pop up here. There it is. There's our schedule, okay? Remaining schedule for the Miami Dolphins. And it's like I said, it could be a lot worse. We start off at the Rams on Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football. Man. And we all know the Miami Dolphins play fantastic on Monday Night Football. Oh my goodness, it'll be interesting. Let's say that, okay? Could it be worse? Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. We have the Dolphins on Monday Night Football playing against the Los Angeles Rams. That's a game we could win, especially since Cooper Kupp decided to punch somebody in their game yesterday against Seattle and got himself ejected. He very well could be suspended. I don't really know. I haven't heard, and I need to check on that, I suppose. But we'll get there. I'm going to do a preview for the Rams game here in the next couple days, and we'll get that on here for you. But that's a winnable game. Raiders coming to Miami the next week to play the Dolphins. That game should be a butt whooping. The Miami Dolphins should mop the floor with the Raiders. And I think if we can get a little confidence, beat the Rams, and then go and beat the Raiders, that's a home game. That should be a win, okay? Now, just because I said it should be doesn't mean it's going to happen. I'm just saying this is why this schedule is somewhat favorable. Then we move on to playing the Patriots at home. Okay? Remember we played the Patriots in Foxborough last time? There's no reason we should lose that game either. All right? So, and we have a decent chance to beat the Rams, especially, like I said, if the Dolphins continue to get a little better here and keep playing the way they've been playing at minimum. These should be wins. So, Rams, Raiders, Patriots, and then we move to the Packers game. This is in Lambeau Field. Now, put a big circle on that Dolphins and Packers game. Jordan Love has been kind of dealing with injuries all season. He hasn't been playing as good as he did last year. He's still a good quarterback, and the Packers are a good team. But like I said, if we play like we've been playing, this is another game we should win, okay? It's not even one of the games I'm mainly concerned about. I'll tell you the two games that I'm concerned about, but that's not one of them. Moving on. The Jets at Dolphins. This is the one where it's at Miami, and it's a December game, but it's in Miami. I really think the Dolphins will win that game as well. Then we move on to the Texans. This is at Houston. Miami's traveling to Houston to play the Texans on December 15th. And that is one of the two games that I'm circling as, that's going to be a tough one. Now, it could be a little easier depending on who actually is playing for the Texans in that game. They're dealing with a lot of injuries, so this might end up being a little more of a favorable matchup than it would have been in the beginning of the season. So looking at that, very well could win that game as well. Next, we have the 49ers at home. This is our final home game of the season. It's at home, obviously. Niners are traveling across the country to play us. Niners aren't playing very well this year. They're not winning in their division either. The Cardinals have that division. And the Cardinals are looking good. No one ever thought that in the beginning of the season except for that first week. But then they were like, oh, the Cardinals suck. Well, they're not as bad as everybody thinks they are. But I digress. 49ers playing the Dolphins at home. I really think that's another winnable game. Now, moving down here. These are the two games that concern me the most. Are the Browns a good team that we play? We play the Browns on Sunday Night Football. I don't think they're a great team. I think they're having some struggles and they're dealing with some things. But over these next 6-7 weeks before we get to the Browns, who knows what's going to happen? My worry here is this is probably going to be a snow game or an extreme cold game. This is the end of December in Cleveland. It's cold weather. And that's not a bad team. They had a bad quarterback, but he's not playing for them anymore. or playing anymore. He's not the starter. So with that said, I don't know about this Browns game. It's one that I'm looking at, and it's kind of. So after that, we could win this game though. The Browns game could be a victory too. And moving on to the last game of the season, this is the one that worries me the most out of all the other games. And Jets fan, respect to the Jets. Once again, I have no qualms with showing my respect and giving flowers where it's due. This is playing the Jets in New Jersey at the end of the year, January 5th. That's going to be cold. So we're ending this season on 2 cold games. Now this Jets-Dolphins game, this is a division rivalry, and this is likely, if the Dolphins and the Jets start turning this around a little bit, this could be for a playoff spot. That game could be deciding a playoff spot. And if that's the case, both teams are going to be playing very hard. And they always play each other hard as it is. And the Jets haven't beaten Tua Tagovailoa yet. And if Tua's healthy, which I hope he is, if Tua's healthy and both these Jets and Dolphins teams turn it around a little bit, this could be a big game. So, could it happen? Could they win all of those 9 games? Yeah, they could. Is it likely? No, but there's a reason they play the game. And that's why I'm a hopeful fan. Am I jaded a little bit being a Dolphins fan and not having a playoff victory in 25 years? Yeah. It sucks. It's hard. And I understand why some fans do get a little more vocal and aggravated and angry about this. I get it. But all I'm saying is there is a chance still. And maybe we try to be fans instead of critique artists. Maybe instead of the next post posting something extremely rude, aggressive, angry, negative, maybe try to make your next post on Twitter something positive. Try it. You never know. But as fans of these teams, we can be critics, we can be constructive about our criticism, and we can still be respectful at the same time. So, like I said, that's how I am. That's the way I'm going to run my channel. I think there's still a chance here to win 8 or 9 games. I know it's a lot of games to have to win, especially when you're 2-6, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. If it was, next to our ranking in the division standings, it would have an eliminated from playoff contention thing next to it, and it doesn't have that. So we are not eliminated. There's still a chance. And I guess it's just a matter of, are you going to be a fan? I'm going to be a fan. I will root for my team until it's over. So, and after that, I'm still going to root for my team. Even if they lose the next 3 games, I'm still going to root for them. And I'm still going to present this information in the same way. Now, let's get rid of that now. And as we're getting ready to get out of here, I got to get going and getting ready for work in the morning. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming in and checking out the video. I want to thank you guys for commenting and being so active. All you Bills fans, thank you for subscribing and all the kind words that I've received on these videos as my name starts to get out there a little more and people start to see these videos more and more. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. And as I know I'm only, a very low subscriber amount, but as I get moving through this here, I'm gonna do some kind of a drawing for the subscribers that I do have. As soon as I have an ability to do that, I will. Also, be on the lookout. Going to be working something out here with Ace Per Head, doing some kind of a live stream or a video with him. If you haven't checked out Ace Per Head, go check him out. He puts out a lot of good information, and he does it in a good way. He still has his complaints, his issues, but like I said, you're not going to catch him screaming and yelling and being extremely rude and insulting. So I like his style. You guys should go check him out if you can. And thank you for watching. And as always, fins up.